Today I want to go ahead and analyze two of the first packs that actually came out for the original version of this game in the Xbox 360, and one of those two first packs that I want to analyze, the first one I want to talk about is the card pack number 2. The other video will probably be for card pack number 5, which is the other one I want to talk about. This card pack number 2, at least in my opinion, along with card pack number 5, are the only two packs you need to start, and the only two packs that you need to buy if you're having trouble beating the computer early on when you first purchase the game, since a lot of people know this game has like a really steep learning curve, a really hard computer, at least in terms compared to other previous Yugioh games. So these two packs are the ones I would recommend buying if you're having trouble against a computer. So let's go ahead and see exactly what this one card pack number 2 has. The first thing that we see, of course, is the Cyber Dragon, and Cyber Dragon in this game is limited to 1, so that really tones down how useful it is, since you wouldn't be able to completely freely make things like Cyber Twin Dragon or Cyber End Dragon. But still, having one Cyber Dragon is pretty good because it's easily be summonable and easily be summonable. I don't know how to say that word, but and it's a light monster, it's a machine, so I mean it's got all the right things that you want from it. The next one we got is Dark Arm Dragon. Dark Arm Dragon, at least until like last year, it was probably the most used card, the most game-breaking card. I mean, you got 3 dark monsters in your graveyard, where dark monsters are the most abundant of monster attributes out there for Yu-Gi-Oh! And you need 3 dark monsters in your graveyard. You can easily manipulate that with different cards like Necro Gardener and such things. Then to remove cards from the graveyard, you can easily manipulate how many dark monsters you got in your graveyard. So I mean, you need 3 dark monsters in your graveyard, and remove you can remove up to any monster, up to any number of dark monsters, and you can destroy that many cards on the field. So this card is just completely overpowered. I love using this card, and if I get something like the Gold Sarcophagus, I usually search this card so that way I can have it in my hand early on, and I can summon it as soon as I get my 3 darks in the graveyard. Because later on in the game, it's really hard to manage it, but if you get it early on, it's really like a game-winning, game-breaking card. The next one we got is Yugioh Infernal Gainer, and you can banish one face-up fiend on your side of the field, and you can banish this card to target one fiend on your side of the field, and pretty much until for the rest of the game, every battle phase, that fiend monster is going to be able to attack twice, and then this card comes back 2 turns later, and you can use the effect against another fiend. So I mean, fiends are not really that abundant. They're not really that they're not really a popular theme, a popular type of monster out there that people use. But I mean, this card is perfect. It does really perfect for cards maybe like Dark World monsters. Like Dark World monsters are fiends, so it would work pretty well on a Dark World deck. And since it's a hero monster, it works pretty well with Elemental Hero Stratos. Next we got Yugioh Infernal Prodigy. This one's pretty good. We got Gigantes. Gigantes is like a heavy storm effect when it gets destroyed in battle. It kills every spell and trap on the field. Then we got Gores, the Emissary of Darkness, and this card is just amazing. You get attacked or you get hit by an effect that does damage to you. Any effect or attack that does damage to you directly when you have no cards on the field, and pretty much you'll be able to summon it right away. So if you get hit by a monster attack, depending on the attack of that hits you, like if this monster had 2000 attack and did 2000 damage to you, you take the damage, and then you're able to summon this card plus a 2000 attack, 2000 defense token. Now if you take direct damage like a card like Tremendous Fire, then on the other hand, you inflict the same damage to the opponent, so they take what you take. So it's pretty nice. It kind of like reminds me of Ring of Destruction, which is a card that is banned currently. Next we got Grandmark, the Rock Monarch. Now this card, in my opinion, is probably the most useless of the monarchs, simply because, I mean, there's another one that's pretty bad, but this one is up there with it, simply because, I mean, you can only target something that is face down, and if whatever you're targeting gets flipped face up, then you can't use it, you know. And if you're on the defensive, then this card is completely useless, because when you're on the defensive, the opponent's going to have most of their things face up trying to attack you, especially the monsters, and this card can only target things that are face down. So the opponent flips up like a card that they have set, they flip it up, it still gets the effect. So if it's like a continuous spell, like let's say Royal Decree, for example, and this card targets it, the opponent can still activate the Royal Decree, flip it up, and this card will not destroy it. So it's really tricky. Next we got the Hyperion Synchron. Now this card is pretty interesting. This card is a tuner monster that when it tunes up with another monster, if you make a dragon type monster, the dragon type monster that comes out with the synchro summon dragon type, like let's say Super Stardust Dragon, then that one goes ahead and gains an extra 800 attack, which is pretty nice for situations in which you need like a really powerful monster. But at the end of the turn, that monster is going to be banished. So I mean, I mean, you get the upside of getting a really powerful monster, but at the end of the turn, it's going to go away. Then we got King of the Swamp. This is perfect for elemental hero decks with fusions. Then we got Legendary Jiu-Jitsu Master. Awesome card. I love using it against Gladiator Beast in my side deck. Next, we got Morphin Yard. Gets flip face up. Both players discard all cards in the hand and draw 5 new cards. Then we got Neospatian Grand Mole. Somebody in a previous video actually asked me in the comment section about Neospatians in this game. So there are Neospatians and elemental hero Neos in this game. Then we got Power Tuner. It gets a 500 attack for each face-up tuner in the field. We got Allure of Darkness. To remove dark monsters in your hand, and you're able to draw 2 cards. We got Creature Swap. We got Dark Calling. We got Dark Fusion. These 2 cards are for fusing dark monsters. It's pretty good. Mainly, I think it would work best with like for Fiends, pretty much. Pretty sure it's for Fiends, so it's for an elemental hero, not for an elemental hero, but for the evil hero decks. Next we got Mind Control. Now Mind Control is a pretty good card. This card you can use 3 of in this game, and you pretty much take control of a monster, and you're not able to attack or sacrifice a monster for a tribute, but you can still use it for tuning, so it's pretty nice. Then we got Soul Exchange, a card I love to use in Monarch decks, you know, to activate it and take my opponent's monster, sacrifice it as my own, and maybe someone like Caius or Mobius or Frost Monarch. Now we have the most overpowered trap card that exists out there in Yu-Gi-Oh! At least in my opinion, at least in the current format. I think it's just my opinion, of course. Crush Card Virus. You sacrifice a monster with 1,000 attack or less that is dark, and you kill every monster the opponent has on the field and in their hand with 1,500 attack or more. And for the next 3 turns, every card your opponent draws, you check it, and you're able to see it, and if it's a monster with 1,500 or more, it automatically gets destroyed. Of course, it doesn't destroy something that gets special summoned, like with a card like Monster Born, like the opponent summons something over 1,500, special summons something over 1,500 with Monster Born, it does not kill that, but I mean, it's still pretty useful, and it gives you 3 turns to see what your opponent draws, so it's pretty nice. Next, we got the Metal Reflex Slime. This Metal Reflex Slime is a card that pretty much acts as a wall. It's 3,000 defense, and you can sacrifice it for your Monarchs, for example. So let's say your opponent is attacking you with a Super Stardust Dragon, then you go ahead and activate the Metal Reflex Slime. You block out the attack because the Super Stardust Dragon has 500 attack less than this card's defense, so then they'll pretty much have to end their turn, and in their turn, you can sacrifice a Metal Reflex Slime for like a monster of your own and kill the Super Stardust. As he keeps trying to say Super Stardust Dragon, because I'm thinking of the Super Stardust HD video game that is on the PlayStation Network. But you pretty much can sacrifice it, and you can summon a card like Gaius and just remove from play the Super Stardust. Super Stardust Dragon. Oh my god, there's no such thing. Alright, anyways, guys, this pack is just awesome, and we still got like 2 more cards here that are just amazing. The Thunder Thought Ruler Ashind, which cannot be targeted by cards, and if you kill a monster, you gain that monster's life to your life points. And then Dark Strike Fighter, you sacrifice a monster, and it can sacrifice itself, of course, and you inflict damage directly to your opponent by multiples of 200 times the level of the monster. So you can sacrifice like 3 monsters at a level 4, so that's right there, that's 2,400 damage. And I think that is 2,400 damage, and then you can sacrifice this monster by itself and inflicts another 1,400 because this card is level 7. So it's a pretty nice card just to finish off the duel. I mean, I usually get like 1 turn kills once I summon this card, and you sacrifice, I attack with all my monsters and sacrifice all of them, inflict enough damage to kill that person, over 8,000 life points in 1 turn. So, and then we got an evil hero, of course, an evil hero Gaia fusion here. So, I mean, aside from the fact that I kept saying Super Stardust for some reason, I think this deck is pretty good. I mean, not this deck, but this pack is pretty good. And I mean, it's card pack number 2. It's only costing $1.99. And if you're really having trouble against your computer, I would recommend you to buy this one. This is the first one you should buy. And card pack number 5, I'm gonna talk about it in the next video. But card pack number 5 is equally as good. And honestly, card pack number 2 and card pack number 5, you combine them together and you put them together with the cards you start out with in your starter deck, and you can easily make like a very decent deck that can easily kill like half of the people you encounter in this game. So, I mean, anyways, that is all I have to say about this pack. And this pack is just, I give it a 5 out of 5. I give it like 10 thumbs up. Actually, I don't even have 10 thumbs. I give it 4 thumbs up. I give them the 2 of my hands and the 2 of my fingers, if you call those thumbs, I think. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening, and leave your comments below, let me know what you think about this, and this is definitely worth the $2. So I'll catch you guys later. Adios.